Okay, ready?
I guess.
VSC. VSC. VSC.
Good morning and welcome to the most dangerous show of the week. Hello, everybody. It's the Sun Dragon Sideshow VSC edition. What she said, the most dangerous show of the week, right? I'm always thrown for a loop this week because just this week when I hit record, because we filmed this on a Zoom meeting, like with just us, just, insider secrets.
There's no other people joining the meeting. It's just the one.
And for, a year now, we hit record and it just starts recording. And just yesterday, it starts going, this meeting is being recorded. And what? I'm sure.
Oh my gosh, I didn't know that.
What? Oh no, turn it off. Oh no. It must be like a new update or a setting that I can change. It startled me yesterday. I was ready for it today. Hi, and welcome to the Sun Dragon Sideshow.
The VSC edition. I think we already did this, but
I said it was the VSC edition, but yes, this is the routine that we should be in that I made us out of order on. Sorry. I'm Rebecca. I am the owner, as I rearrange my little lightweight hipster here. I'm the owner of Sun Dragon Art and Fiber in sunny and going to get ridiculously hot, but could be more ridiculously hot, Brevard, North Carolina.
I'm Liz. I'm the minion there. I'm waiting for next week because it's supposed to be back in the 70s and life will be.
Are we like thinking that then the what is going on with this? Sorry. Are we thinking that we were talking about the cicadas last night?
Yeah.
Will they not come out if it gets cold again?
They probably will at some point. Because
shout out to Carol. She was like, why aren't the cicadas out yet? Because they are like all over the rest of the country. And we were theorizing about that.
I keep waiting to be deafened by the sound and all I get is frogs.
I've heard chirping and things, but not cicadas. So, although, okay, if it's 17 years, that means the last time that they came out, my head math is going to fail me. 2011 would be 10 years ago. 2010. And then 6, so 2004. I don't remember a whole lot of noise in 2004. I don't know what I was doing in 2004.
I remember the year that Kaya was born, so 98. In Kansas City, we had like so many cicadas that you could hear them over the bus engines while you were riding a school bus.
But 98, 17 years wouldn't be 2004. No. So I don't know. My math must be off. But maybe the cicadas are not every 17 years. I don't know.
There's several sets. There's a 13. There's a 17. There's several different.
What does this have to do with yarn, you may ask?
We don't know.
Absolutely nothing. It was just one of the many topics we talked about at Knit Night last night. Because that's what we do. We talk about all kinds of random stuff. And it's fun. Because it's just hanging out. That's kind of what it's all about.
But yeah, it's fun.
I am so sorry that Carol showed a spider on her screen.
I was not looking at Carol's.
Thank you. Good.
Yeah.
We shared some spider stories, which, maybe we should not have gone down that rabbit hole. But
I have a spider story that tops them all, but I won't share it.
Don't tell it. Amy D shared hers and not last night, but to me. So that ball of white yarn, I keep looking up and thinking there's like an empty mannequin head in front of you because I just faced a mannequin head over there. No, it's okay. It's okay. I'm just. Oh, it's gonna be a fun day, huh? All right. So my lightweight hipster has nothing to do with what we're advertising today. We went around and around and like, what should we do? I don't know. People who know our yarns already can probably tell from what's in front of us some of what we're going to be talking about. So what?
It's a random sampling today.
Yeah, kind of. But here was what got it started, right? Liz said, well, it's going to be hot. So, and we tend to go down the rabbit hole, a lot of rabbit holes today. Just go with me on this.
Enjoy the ride.
Whee! Put your hands up. Whee! It's like a roller coaster.
I don't ride roller coasters.
Never mind then. You're no fun.
Nope.
So when things get hot, I tend to, like in the newsletter and here we talk about plant fibers a lot because supposedly they breathe better or they don't trap in, like wool traps in the heat and keeps you warmer. This is wool, it's merino, but people sometimes forget or ignore that merino is actually a really soft wool. It's also thin, so you can kind of breathe.
A fingering weight merino on a bigger needle will breathe. It will also moisture wick and temperature control almost as well as a plant fiber. But if you're in Florida, anything short of cotton or linen is going to die.
It's just gonna feel hot. So we can try to sell you some fingering weight merino if you're in Florida, but you're gonna hang on to whatever you make until you go into the air conditioning, and then you might think about wearing it. So so it's gonna be hot here today. And at first Liz was like, all the cottons, and I was like, that's a lot for me to work with online. Or all the plant fiber, that was too much. So we're narrowing it down. By the way, I should disclaimer what last week's products of the week, the coastline and the fiber space foreplay, actually. So there is some, it's not this, but the tonal stuff that's kind of like this. They were last week's product of the week, and then I didn't get my newsletter out until yesterday. And so anyone who doesn't watch the show, and they really should watch the show, but people who don't watch the show and wait until the newsletter comes out to find out about these things had like not even 24 hours to take advantage of that sale. So I figured, what the heck? Those two items will still be on sale this week. If you're paying attention and you go to products of the week, they'll still be there. And no, that is not an error, although it makes my life easier. You can still get 15% off this week as well. And our week for these sales, remember, runs Wednesday to like the next Wednesday morning until I flip things. So, but in addition, instead of everything we have that has a plant fiber in it that's online, and actually if you go to the online shop, you can look by fiber. You can go, I want to see all the plant fiber blends, and I think I've lumped them all, so you can just look at those. It's not all of them though, because that I would go nuts. I'm sure y'all be very happy, but maybe we're going to cycle through some of them. Eventually, I'm going to get more yarn up in the online shop because there is yarn in the shop that is not there yet, but not this week. There's a lot of other things going on this week. So we pared it down, and I, in the back of my head, was thinking cumulus. I hadn't said it yet. But then Liz suggested cumulus. As one does. Yes, because it's fun. And the sister yarn to it, no relations, like sister by another mother or something. But feels almost as soft, if not softer. The Wool Addicts Happiness. And But wait, there's more. And we'll remind you of all of them. I'm just kind of getting them all out up front. And so if you don't want to watch us, although I think we're pretty entertaining, you could stop watching after I say the next one. But we are holding a fun notion in reserve for the end. So then to go along with probably the thickest cotton we have in the shop, because people come in saying super bulky cotton, and we kind of go, It's hard. First of all, I think it's hard for that to be constructed. I'm sure there are some yarn companies who have tried, especially with like maybe a chainette or something loose. Because cotton can get heavy really fast. So something bigger than a bulky in cotton, we personally do not have in the shop. If someone makes it, go with your bad self and find it. But we don't have it here in the shop because there aren't a whole lot of yarn companies that make super mega cotton. And if they do, we don't stock it. So, so we went with the Bud as well, which is a textured cotton. The texture doesn't it's not like it's boucle or it's a thin thick. It just has a little nubby texture to it that when you knit with it, doesn't show up as super nubby. It's just really soft. So
it's like got a thin and a thick on the spin. So like if you look at
it's almost like it's a 2-ply with one thick strand and one thin one, and which gives it a little like bubble. This, but not boucle. Not full-blown boucle. It is Juniper Moon's approximation. In fact, we're going to start with that because I'm talking more about it. It is Juniper Moon's version of what Classic Elite many moons ago had as a bulky
Sprout.
I hadn't gotten there yet.
Sorry.
That's okay. That's why there's two of us. I shouldn't be talking the whole time. But Sprout and Seedling were two yarns, and then they came out with Mika, which was even thinner, and then they went out of business, and it was so sad. And we had one that was like, the Seedling was more of a like DK weight to worsted weight, and we had an approximation of that from a different company. I think Juniper Moon actually makes a thinner version, but we haven't brought it in yet. Like, that's what one of our customers brought by. She's making a top out of it, and it was Juniper Moon, but it wasn't this thick. So I have not investigated bringing that in. I bet it would be softer than the stuff we brought in, which was from another company. Everyone's trying to do their own approximations of popular yarns once the popular yarns go the way of the dodo. So, but this stuff, it's wonderful. It's squishy. I'm testing this. So someone at Knit Night said that the microphone, when I got close to the computer, you couldn't hear me anymore. I changed the settings. So shout out to Amy D. You get another shout out. You get to see how this sounds. I don't know what setting it is, but I flicked the button once. So here's the texture. Wow. Okay. You want to read some stats?
I will read the stats. It is 100% organic Peruvian cotton. You get 109 yards per 100 gram bulk. It is machine washable, lay flat to dry. They recommend. Super bulky, or not super bulky. Sorry, it's the number 5 bulky.
I was talking about super bulky. I got her off track.
Yeah. They're recommending a US 9 to 11 knitting needles or a US K to M crochet hooks.
Okay. What Liz did, since we're going to talk about a bunch of different yarns today, is she got a couple of colors out. And then if you want to see the other colors, because these are all yarns that should already be up online. So if you want to see the other colors, go to the other video where we talked about it, and some have had new colors come in. I'm swirling in the middle of a sentence.
Come by, look at the online shop.
There you go.
Bring you other colors.
Did we say regular price?
Regular price is $13.50.
It'll be 15% off with the code Product of the Week with spaces on the online shop. And if you ever have problems with a code, call the shop or email us before you do the purchase, and we'll try to figure it out. But Product of the Week as a code should work on this once I get everything finagled and ironed out. And since this is all already up online, I should hopefully be able to do that before this video goes live. I do have a lesson this morning. Can you show off your color? Because we do, since we got the two colors. Let's show.
It's Seafoam Lily.
That's a new one that we brought in, and we brought in this awesome like cool gray as well. But the Seafoam, again, I'll try to correct the color of this video, but sometimes it might not catch all the colors correctly if I just warm up the whole video, you know. It's a really pretty color. This one is Lupine. It's a really, really dark purple. Some of our favorites. There's such a wonderful color palette. We don't have every color they make, but we have a good range. And this one, I gotta say, that is 109 yards. For me, makes the head math easy because I kind of just assume 100 yards. So any pattern I'm looking at, I will say 100 yards. How many do I need? And we have had a lot of people make a Espace Tricot's Chevron baby blanket out of this, which is written, I think, for worsted, but you just up the needle and maybe up the yardage a little bit just in case.
Yep.
And wonderful color palette, and you get a zigzag blanket. Fantastic. Wonderful stuff. So, but awesome. Anyway, so that's the thickest yarn we're going to talk about today. And all of the yarns are on the slightly thicker end of the cotton that we have. We have thinner stuff. It's wonderful. It might make an appearance in coming weeks. We'll see. Liz has just grabbed the next one that we only have one variety of instead of multiple types of. What we consider, as she's petting it,
it's the softest cotton ever.
It looks like you're trying to make a snowman because you're holding it right on top of the one up close. Boop. Look, mine is right there, so I can be like near and far. Doop. There you go. So far. We are children of Sesame Street. Okay, so
I wanted to do Grover's voice so bad, but I can't.
Oh, I shook the table or something. But that's pretty, so I'm gonna have to put it back up. We'll talk about that in a second. State. Okay. So happiness, Will Addicts Happiness, right? Right there. Ta-da! And this is the misleading part of these labels. There's no wool in this. And people go, but I don't want wool. Wool Addicts is the name of the brand. It is made by Lang Yarn, and they have a whole series of yarns. It's like the hip, chic, happening, like side variant of Lang yarns. It's a thing. And some of it we have not brought all of the Wool Addicts lines in, but we've tried some of them and we've been pretty happy with them. This one is 100. No, this
one is 65% cotton and 35% polyamide or nylon.
Mm-hmm. But that's what makes it so soft, the chainette that it's made out of, and there's no wool in it. The brand name is just Wool Addicts.
Yep.
Happiness, cotton and nylon.
Yep. It is perfect for Comeau caps. It can be washed at a fairly high temperature, up to 30 degrees Celsius, which for a lot of washing is actually.
It also does say no dryer. A lot of these do. With anything plant fiber, just be careful with it. Even if it would say hand wash, a plant fiber should, in theory, hold up in the washer. But the way that the yarn is put together, they might be worried it's going to fuzz or pill or do something that you're going to get unhappy with. So they're trying to warn you against unhappiness. Any hand knit is going to last longer if you don't put it in the dryer. And even if it says machine washable, if you don't put it in the machine. But when you're making stuff for babies and chemo hats and things like that, sometimes you do need to sterilize them. And so you need to put them in the washer. Or you just need to wash off the goo of a baby without hand washing.
And the biggest caveat is for pilling and stuff, the softer the yarn is. Soft is wonderful. Wonderful. But the softer the yarn is, generally, the better it is to pill.
Yeah, the easier it is to pill. So like, okay, Venn diagram of like people come in and I want something that's not too expensive, but it's really soft and it doesn't pill. That magical unicorn, I don't think exists. So you got to pick like 2 out of the 3, or you've got to pick 1, right? Cost effective, may not be super soft, and may not, and may be anti-pill, but may not be as soft as you want, or, you know, like, or might advertise as anti-pill and not really be that. If you want something that's super soft, it may not be cost effective. If it's really going to be soft. And the combo of soft and not pilling, like there might be a few acrylics that again fit all 3, but you may not be happy with how it comes out. But you know, you have to decide what is the most important thing to you, and we will give you our best options. But that magical unicorn, we have not found yet.
I always say it's like bathroom towels.
Yeah.
Absorbent or soft. You can't have both.
So soft and non-pilling. If we've got one here, it's super synthetic. And if you want to knit with like not synthetic stuff, it's not going to happen. So yeah, the softer something is, the more likely with any type of friction, as in use or washing, it's going to pill. And if you think there's there's something wrong with that, then
plastic tubing. Yeah,
Liz will tell you to put it all in plastic tubing. So and yeah, it annoys me too. Yeah, I'm annoyed. I'm annoyed that a lot of my pants will pill because I walk in them. You know, and I don't wear knit pants. Let me just make that abundantly clear, because that can get weird.
Any fiber with friction, and even not soft yarn, but even any fiber with friction will produce pills. Because
you have to live in a world where there's no friction, which is not the earth, or glean it every single day. And go look at Gleaners on our website if you're not sure what that is. Okay. Sorry. Tangent. Go ahead, Liz.
We have happiness comes in 50-gram balls. You get 135 meters.
135 meters, add 10%. So
148 yards.
Like close to 150 yards-ish. You know, that's the head math I do. Add 10%. Roughly gets you yardage. So maybe estimate 150, but you know that it might not be quite what that head math is telling you. Might be a little shy of that.
They're calling for a 5 to 5.5 millimeter needle,
which is a US 8 to 9.
and it's machine washable.
It's machine washable. Yep. It is of the Chainette super soft yarns. It is the only one that is going to claim to be machine washable. And it's because if we look at the Cumulus, what you're going to see is the Happiness has a really, really fine chainette. It might not even, show up on the camera. It's a really fine woven chainette, which means it can hold up a little better. The Cumulus has a little bit of a looser chainette. They're both really soft. Like people are amazed.
Also more cotton. The Cumulus is also more cotton, so the structure to keep everything
cotton has
together.
more pilling. By the way, we have lovely neutrals in the Happiness.
Yes,
we have lovely both soft tones and bold colors in the Happiness. Go check it out on our website. I will try to take some of my time today to make sure that we have all the colors up. So Liz has already transitioned to Cumulus, and now Cumulus, we have different varieties. It's almost like wine. You've got the red and the white and the and
spritzers.
Wasn't going to go there, but okay.
Well, I mean, you have the dappled and the solid and the rainbow. So
there's other things besides red and white before you get to a spritzer, but
I don't drink wine.
I was trying to go for the pink ones in between that my brain can't tell me what they are now. 'Cause coffee. So, it'll come to me, or someone will tell me in the comments. It shows you how much wine I drink lately. But yeah, the different varietals. We have different varietals of Cumulus. You're making me think of like Bartles and James or something now. I'm just like, no, I wouldn't put any of the Cumulus in that range, of like, we're not talking about like the expensive like $500 wine or the $5 bottles of wine. These are all the same quality. Cumulus is all the same quality. It's like all your house table wines, but a little bit better than that, actually. They're just different colors. So let's start with solids. Straight up Cumulus, like the straight up Sideshow, right? We have Cumulus. And I want to grab one other skein that because the solids will come in the loose fluffies like this, and they'll come in a tighter twist. So let me grab one of those.
And they're both exactly the same.
They are. People will go like, that looks smaller than that, but they're the same. Go ahead, read some stats.
Read some stats. Okay. They are 94% cotton and 6% nylon. So just a touch of nylon for the strength. They are 251 yards per 100 grams.
Again, easy math. 250, easy math.
Hand wash, number 4, medium weight. Suggested knitting needles is a 7 to a 9. Crochet hooks are an I to a K.
A lot of yarns will recommend maybe a slightly bigger crochet hook to let it fluff a little better. So these are the same as that, right? She's taking it from me.
No. You have one of each. We have one of each.
Can you tell we don't plan this? Okay.
Nope.
This would be like really contrived if we did plan this and then had to act this out. Oh my gosh. No, these are the same yardage, but and if someone says, well, why are these fluffy and looser? They're still bands. They're just not twisted up as tight as these. I don't know if these are newer and these are older, like not like these have aged on the shelf or something, but like when they first made these colors, they said, let's do it light and fluffy in the twist. And then these, they're like, let's just make it fit into as compact a space as possible. I don't know, but they're all wonderful and they all knit up the same. I can vouch for people who've made the Irish shawl, which, I'd love to show you off right now, but I don't know where it is. So, but look on our website for the Irish shawl. Takes a solid and, wait, I know where it is. Takes a solid and a rainbow. And so does the Kentia cowls that I put up kits for. The one Kentia cowl that I made did the same thing. We've talked about how we have another one called Dappled we're about to show to you. How that with a solid or a rainbow, make your own combos. They're lovely. But these are the same. This is like someone who needs a haircut and this is someone who's all trimmed up. I don't know. Anyway.
Mine's in a top knot.
Did you say the price on these?
I have not. Our retail price is $21.95 on the solids. Yes. The solid cumulus are $21.95. I just double checked that they weren't all the same price.
They aren't all the same price.
So that, you know.
The solids are not considered as fancy. I didn't find the Irish shawl, but it's this stripey, wonderful. It is all the rage right now. Go look on our website at the shawl kits. I did find the Kentia cowl by Ambah O'Brien that I thought would look snazzy in a rainbow and a solid. And it does. And so I'm going to put it on. And it doesn't use a whole rainbow. Whew, fix the hair. Okay, it doesn't use a whole rainbow because when we get to the rainbows, which we should probably maybe go to next, although I don't know. But see, this is Aurora Borealis that has all these lovely jewel tones. Like there's teal up here, there's teal up here, and there's purples down here. It goes all the way to a yellow, but if I do this, look. This is the back sewn together. I never got to the yellow part of it. It didn't use a whole skein. I could have started with the yellow and had a totally different look, you know, but I manipulated the color. So, yeah, let's go from the solids to the rainbows. I believe all the stats are exactly the same on the rainbow, except the price is a little bit more because to dye it like this is a little more complicated than to just give it a solid.
Stats are exactly the same.
Stats, so 251 yards, medium weight, like the thickness is the same. The biggest difference is the color change. Over the whole course of 251 yards, it changes. And so again, Aurora Borealis. These are some of our new colors that we really love. This one is Tropical Sunset.
This one's Mariana Trench.
All greens and blues. This one has the pop of ice in the center. We have Icelandic Volcano that one of our knitters is making an Irish shawl out of. It's just, there's so much fun. When we first got these in, we only had a handful of colors, and we had a knitter, shout out to Amanda, who made a papillon, a worsted weight papillon. I think, did it take her like 5?
Takes 5.
Like it was huge, but it was gorgeous. For the crocheters out there, hang on. For the crocheters, again, the colors, look online because we didn't pull them all out. We've got a bunch now. But this is a Diadem shawl, I think, by Rachie Newen. And this is the Lotus Flower colorway. There are 3 skeins of the rainbow Lotus Flower in here.
1, hook 2, hook 3.
Yep. And it's so pretty and so wonderful. And it's cotton, so it'll breathe, but it's got a little bit of weight to it, so it's nice, so it's not gonna fly away. So it kind of works for like in between weather, especially, right? The rainbow, though, the rainbow's my favorite. I will not lie. So I'll let you in a secret. It's my favorite. Why do you think? Because it's so pretty.
It really is.
I want to knit with it all the time, but I already have 3 shop samples now that use different rainbows, so I have to stop, which makes me sad. So you all need to buy it so that I can see what you're making. I need to live vicariously through you all now. So it's 15% off this week.
And we are retailing the rainbow for $24.95.
It's a little more expensive than the straight up cotton, but it's still absolutely wonderful. Now the last one that we have, same stats, same price as the rainbow, I believe. You want to check that for me?
$24.95.
Because it's a little more complicated to dye. It is called Cumulus Dappled. And it says dappled because you have more of a splatter effect to it. But honestly, there's a little bit of stripiness that happens with it. But it's
kind
not
of some of everything.
It's a little bit of everything. It's got like these are 2 of the colors. Liz, hold up yours. Yeah. These are 2 of the most popular colorways, by the way.
It's almost like a gradient stripe that repeats, and then there's speckles and
I want to say that the colors that are up in the online shop are probably the samples from Knitting Fever's website. So I will work on correcting that today to get these up. But the cool thing about what's on there, let me back up. What I have borrowed from Knitting Fever's website while it might not be absolutely true color, it does show you how it knits up. So if I have enough tiles, I get like 12 tiles, 12 pictures per listing. If I have enough to have our colors, our skeins with the pretty, here's real color, and how it knits up, I will try to keep it all up on the website. It is helpful, I think, to see how it knits up. Speaking of that, if you watch my morning meditation, if you follow us on social media, I was working on, and I've done it a couple times now, but it was this morning's morning meditation. It's getting long enough that it's I'm like, it's really hard to hold up and show off. But I am knitting the Emilia wrap by Claudia Wersing. That's written, her sample is in this color. If you look at it on Ravelry, it's written for the Cumulus Dappled. I have seen Knitting Fever shared a picture of a yarn shop that did this shawl with the rainbow.
And she wanted to.
I really wanted to, but I just said, I've got 3 samples in the shop with the rainbow. I got to stop. We don't have a sample with this yet, though. This is the, it's like Flamingo Nights, Flamingo something. Check it online. It's mostly pink, different shades of pink, though. A little bit of blue pops out. And so this is the idea, like it's kind of stonewash speckly looking, but then there's stripes of color. You can see that in this right now. The shawl the wrap should take 2 skeins of this. I've had this out, of course it shut off because I was talking.
What?
I can stick my fingers through this. I've used up enough of it. I have 37 grams of this first skein left. I have about 90 stitches. We're boring Liz enough. She's going back to knitting. Okay.
Yeah.
I have about 90 more stitches that need to be added to this before, let me see if I can hold it. There we go. Before I start doing some of the fancy patterning that's along the edge of it. I think it will be very fun. I think if you want to make it out of a solid or the dappled or the rainbow, it's very, very fun, pretty shawl. Only 2 skeins. That's not bad. The Irish shawl only takes 2 skeins and you're alternating between them. This takes 2 skeins and doesn't use the whole thing. So there's all kinds of things you can do with Cumulus. Cumulus would make a beautiful baby blanket. I think when Liz read the stats, it does not recommend machine washing. We will tell people, we will say, since it's cotton, I bet in a garment bag or something on delicate, it would probably survive just fine, but we don't like to make any promises we can't keep. It's wonderful for chemo caps, for soft things against skin. So for babies, just be careful of how you care for it because again, that loose construction, let's see, this compared to this has a finer weave to the chainette than this guy, and with more cotton in it, and the whole thing that Liz just made is falling over. Sorry.
It was not as organized as it looked.
Well, now it's just tumbled. So, but we don't know how well it will hold up to being tossed around in a washing machine, but it is still plant fiber and it shouldn't be like wool felts because of the structure of wool, period. But it might come out looking a little bit more weathered and loved. Yes, I was going for that too. If it goes through the washing machine, but I wouldn't let that stop you from making baby stuff out of it because it's going to be so soft against their skin. They're going to love it. Anyway. So, or make something nice for yourself. Oh, wouldn't that be wonderful? Now I'm thinking about like a sweater in this.
Ooh.
But I have enough samples at the shop that I probably can't do it. So again, I need to live vicariously through you all. So I need you guys to make some fun things out of this. Some of the colors are ridiculously back ordered in this yarn. So if it says we're low on a color, call the shop. This is Juniper Moon Farms is a yarn that I can go online and say, yep, I can place an order and it's probably going to work. Or I can look and say, it's back ordered. We can't do that. I can find out right away. There's some other yarns here at the shop that I have to call a rep or call the company or email the company, and we got to wait to hear back. But Juniper Moon is one of the ones that I should be able to tell, unless a lot of people order at the very same second I do. I should be able to know if they're in stock or not. So if you need more for like a luscious sweater, It'd be so comfy. It would be great for like summer nights. Oh my gosh. When there's just that hint of chill in the air, but you don't want something that might eventually feel scratchy against your skin, depending on how sensitive you are to wool and stuff. Perfect stuff. Oh, we have the Notion.
We have the Notion.
Okay, so Liz went, why don't we do this? These are things that we've had since the shop opened. And it's by a lady who calls herself the Sexy Knitter on Etsy. Check her stuff out. It's really, really super cute. We have little tins that are like travel accessories, notions for knitting. And we also got this is called the Knitter's Notion Jar. And it's kind of like a fancy version of our tins. There's all kinds of fun. This would be the perfect thing to have one in every room. You're going to have some notions to help you out with stuff. We have a limited supply, but we thought we'd show them off to you guys. So what do we have in here, Liz?
We have, it's a row counter that's leather with,
I love this row counter.
With
actually.
little beads that you can, and there's two different. I have silver, but most of them
mine is
come
stuck
with
inside.
the gold.
Most of them come with the gold. Like there's a couple of silvers. People look at these and they're like, what are these? The one piece of paper that's in here has the instructions. It's a row counter. You slide the bead down to make a gap between it and the other beads. As you slide beads, you can count up to 10 at once. Even numbered multiples of 10 can be tracked by adding a removable stitch marker to the loop at the top of the abacus. It's like an abacus, right? Or you can make a note on your pattern, what multiple of 10. I think they're so fun.
I really, really like them when I'm casting on, because every 10 stitches I can slide a bead down, and they're just fun to play with. So
old-fashioned counting. I just think they're really neat. Or, it's a little fidget thing to have, right? So that's like the most exciting thing in here, I think. What else you got?
There is a needle gauge with 3 needles magneted on the back.
It's a needle gauge that looks like, and I will be full disclaimer, the magnet, it's just kind of hot glued on. So some of them stay and some of them don't, but you can easily fix that with a little bit of super glue. It looks like a twisted skein. And has the numbers on the back, so you can tell what size needle you have.
It also comes with a little ring and open close stitch markers and your 3 needles.
Okay, you are missing a piece from that one. Then we will.
It's probably in here.
Well, the cool thing is, like the tins had the magnet on the lid, so you could find your sewing needles. And the thing I was saying she's missing is there's 3 different size sewing needles in here, and then there's also a stitch fixer with 2 different hooks on either end to fix your stitches, and they're all metal, so they all could potentially. Hers had just fallen off. It was still in there. You found it.
Back on.
Yep. So that way you pull this guy out and you have open close stitch markers attached to the end. Look how fun this is. All right. What else you got?
Comes with a little stork pair of scissors.
They are more substantial. The little tins have mini snips that kind of work, kind of don't. Depends sometimes.
Depends on how you hold them. Sometimes.
Real scissors. Stork scissors.
Yep. Tape measure. It's a shorter tape measure.
It's super little and cute. It's good for travel stuff. It only goes out about 2 feet tops and retracts back in. It's an actual metal tape measure on a keychain. You could have your very own tape measure keychain if you wanted to, or you could keep it with the little jar. But it all comes together.
A mini pencil.
I don't have a pencil.
Yeah, you do. Oh wait, no, you don't.
That's my needle.
Oh.
If we'll check if we can't find pencils for all, to keep track of your rows and everything. If we can't find a pencil in all of them, we might have, I don't know, we'll figure it out. May or may not come with a pencil, but we'll see if we can find pencils for all of them. Little stitch holder, good for like thumbs on gloves, things like that, holding just a couple stitches off. And super teeny tiny cable needle. If people go, what is this weird bendy thing? This is a cable needle. Here's the thing about the J hook cable needle is my favorite type of cable needle. And if you're like, but it's so small, as long as the cable needle is smaller than the needles you're knitting with, and I would guess Can we put this on the needle gauge to find out what size it is? This almost fits through the 0. It's about the same size girth as like a size 1 or 2 needle, which means it can hold like anything you're working with. Even if you're working with the super bulky yarn, a cable needle doesn't need to be the right size for what you're knitting. It needs to be smaller so it can hold the stitches while you're moving things around.
Yeah.
So this
Perfect.
will work for everything except for like the teeniest, tiniest, like surgical knitting. But it all fits in this jar, which is super convenient and cute. And what is our retail price normally on these lists?
Our
As I'm
retail
straightening
price
out my stitch
normally
markers.
is $45
Mhm.
because it is jam packed.
There's so much stuff
With-
in here. And most of it's really decent quality stuff. But it's, I mean, if you think about that, a tape measure and scissors and needle gauge and funky row
needles.
counter and sewing needles and stitch fixer and stitch holder and cable needle and maybe a pencil. How much would you pay for all that? I feel like I really am doing Kathleen's VS, like QVC.
Yeah.
How much would you expect to pay for all that?
It is.
Plus a cute little jar. I'm trying to cram the piece of paper back in here. A cute little jar that you can take anywhere. I will say it is a fully glass jar, and we will bubble wrap the crap out of this if we mail it to you. I mean, it's a good little travel accessory, but if you're flying or going somewhere, it is glass. Pack it appropriately. Pack it safely. Wrap a whole lot of laundry around it if it's going in your suitcase, or get a few for the house to go in different rooms, because then you have everything you need in the palm of your hand, right? So
They
we'll get
also
those up
make
online.
great gifts for knitters in your life if you are not a knitter or a crocheter.
Mhm.
You know,
What
like,
do I get them?
you could also use them for crochet because it's open close stitch markers, and the needle gauge is a crochet gauge for some knitting or crochet hooks.
Can work for
Can work for
some
crochet.
styles of crochet hooks. Some won't
Yeah.
fit through. But so it can work for both knitting and crochet. It's a little more knitting centric.
Yes.
Like most things for notions kind of are. But you're right. It's kind of bistitchual in many ways. So, all right, we have to open the shop in just a couple of minutes, but
Yes, we do.
Cumulus in all its varieties, Bud, Wool Addicts Happiness, the Knitter's Notion jar, and the 2 items that were on sale last week are all 15% off this week. People, take advantage of it. Okay, so tomorrow is the Dear Becky and Lizzy edition of the Sun Dragon Sideshow.
If you have any questions, email me, liz@sundragonartandfiber.com.
If you email me, which is Rebecca instead of Liz, all the rest of the gobbledygook, or if you fill out a contact form on our website or things like that, it could get lost. It might not end up on this show because Liz keeps track of it and everything else comes to me and I'm doing way too many things. So email Liz. If you want to write us a note, we love getting actual note cards. It won't be answered this week if you write it today, but it could get it to us for next week. You would write Dear Becky and Lizzy, Sun Dragon Art and Fiber, 35 South Broad Street, Brevard, North Carolina, 28712.
Yay.
And tomorrow, no, Friday. I'm like the day after tomorrow, the tomorrow of tomorrow, we have another knit night. Won't that be fun? Woo. So 6 to 9 p.m. on Zoom. Use the shop phone number 828-877-3550. I'm sorry, I did it.
You're fine.
And join us. We had fun last night. We have a good group of people, and like it changes and people come in and out, and we have some core people who, like, our core people used, like, sometimes they're there every time, and sometimes different core people come in, and sometimes new people come in. Shout out to Shirley, came yesterday, right? And Ofeni. I'm going to try to say her name again tomorrow because I think we remembered her, the woman who
She
joined
came
us
on
last
Friday.
week. She came on Friday, and we were very blessed to have her too. And I couldn't remember her name yesterday, and I felt horrible. Like a lot of things I can't remember lately because my brain is just mush. But Ofeni, was great to have her on Friday. We hope to see her again too. We hope to see everybody again. And just know that, you know, sometimes we bounce around. We have different topics. We connect in different ways. Sometimes we try to share the wealth of who's talking and gentle proddings and things, but everybody's welcome. So, yay. All right. I think we got to go. I got a lesson in half an hour. We got to get ready. We got to get the table out, because even with new CDC guidelines, I know I'm a broken record on this, but I want to make really clear. We are still requiring appointments to come inside, and we are still requiring masks inside. You saw us take our masks off. We were about to put them back on. We only take them off for filming and eating, and we don't do a whole lot of eating at the shop. So we're just same rules for everybody. We want everyone to get vaccinated so we can get to like some level of herd immunity. But I was just updating our Facebook post this morning, and it said, you know, we still need appointments to come in and masks. And if either one of those are things that you're not cool with, that's okay.
We can help you outside.
We help you outside. That means you can walk up anytime. You don't need to stick to a schedule. And you can still get a lovely, and you don't have to put a mask on if you don't want to, but we will help you outside. You can still have a wonderful personalized experience, because we know our shop so well. We will help you find exactly what you need. The only difference coming in is you see everything, and then we still help you find what you need. Everything can be overwhelming. It can be lovely, but it can also be overwhelming. And I was gonna say something else, and it's gone.
If you want to shop outside, or you come to the shop and there is not an appointment available, and you get to shop outside because there's nothing available for that day, if you have even the slightest idea of what yarns or colors you like, we can help.
We can help. We're not a magic box, so we don't have everything inside, but we will take out as close as what you want. We will show you what the options are.
You say I like blue yarn, and I'm not don't have a particular way. I'll come in and pull every skein of blue yarn.
She will. And the caveat I will mention is people who make an appointment to come in do get priority in terms of, but we will try to still, if you come up at the same time as someone who is inside, we will do our best to help you too. But if we have 2 or 3 people walk up at the same time, our attention is divided, and we will do the absolute best we can. But we will be helping the person inside first, because they have a limited time frame. And the people outside, you may have a limited time frame, but we have all day to help you. So we'll do the best we can. But we have an order of priority. And usually if multiple people walk up outside, which happened a lot last year, the order you arrive in, we will try to help you all at once, but the order you arrived in is usually the order you will be served.
Like a deli counter.
Yeah, we haven't made little tags yet, but we'll have to see. So anyway, we're going over.
Go.
Bye. See you tomorrow for Dear Becky and Lizzy. And if we don't have any Dear Becky and Lizzy advice type questions, we'll find something to advise you on. Don't worry about it. We can talk. Right? Right. Okay. Bye.
Bye. Oh, like, subscribe, ring the bell.
My tips and tricks channel is still not way outpacing, but is outpacing the Sideshow. So we need to get some subscribers. So I won't tell Liz what the numbers are right now, because it would make her sad. But we're both picking up subscribers, which is wonderful. Keep going.